back in this day in history, all the way back in 2017. That was when Amazon stunned investors with an almost $14 billion deal to buy Whole Foods. That announcement sent shockwaves across the industry. Shares of grocery chains like Kroger and Super Value plunged as much as 20%. Investors really pondering what a cutthroat price competitor like Amazon would mean for an already cutthroat, low-margin world of groceries. Broadline retailers like Target slid, and even real estate companies like Kimco sold off. Now, while Amazon shares initially rallied, there was concern there, too. At $13.7 billion in cash, the deal dwarfed all the acquisitions Amazon had made over the previous decade combined. That includes its 2014 purchase of video game service Twitch, which was just for a measly $970 million. In fact, the Whole Foods deal still remains Amazon's biggest ever acquisition by far, almost double what it paid for MGM back in 2021, quadruple what it paid for One Medical in 2022. However, integrating Whole Foods, that's proved way more difficult than imagined. First, there was a profitability mismatch with sales growth and returns for the grocer in decline at the time. Complicating matters was Whole Foods co-founder John Mackey, who really didn't want to sell the company, but he had been under pressure for months from activist investors who he referred to as, quote, greedy bastards who are only interested in only profiting from a forced sale. Well, that forced sale really did happen, and now it was Amazon's task to make it work. But executives at both companies ended up taking the unusual step of a hands-off approach to integration, which let Whole Foods operate independently. That was great for the chain to retain that Crunchyroll ethos that it had, but it didn't necessarily benefit fully from the economies of scale, the e-commerce chops, or the efficiencies that had made Amazon a retail behemoth. Mackey, he finally stepped aside in late 2022, and the real integration, that began then. Amazon pushing for more overlap with the parent company. And just last week, an internal memo became public that showed Whole Foods corporate employees now joining Amazon's HR programs, and Amazon's other grocery offerings like Amazon Fresh and Amazon Go, now being folded with Whole Foods into a broader food retail umbrella that should, at least by intent, make things a little less confusing for consumers and hopefully more efficient for Amazon as a whole.